These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. The sounds of tutoring and tech and health and fitness and arts and music. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, Lorraine. Thank you so much for having me here today to the John H. Harlan Boys and Girls Club in Atlanta.
Well, thank you for being here today.
I am so thankful that we can be together safely and in person today. You know, as we both know, before the pandemic, many of us relied or perhaps even took for granted the face-to-face engagements that we used to have to build and maintain relationships. But in this changing environment, nonprofits everywhere have had to shift their service delivery models and build and maintain relationships digitally. I'm excited to talk to you today and hear about how Boys and Girls Clubs continues to navigate this transformation. How are you using technology to better understand the needs of your community and things like food insecurity, education, well-being, and all of that during this critical time?
Well, thank you for that question. And again, thank you for having me. Boys and Girls Clubs have always been a deeply relationship-driven organization, from our staff leadership and our boards to our primary focus, which is the relationship and mentorships that we provide to nearly 4 million young people that clubs serve on an annual basis. In 2020, just like so many other organizations, we had to rethink our entire service delivery model, both reassessing the needs of young people and communities during a very unprecedented time, and finding new ways to connect even when we were far apart. This time was especially critical for us because we knew that the pandemic was having a devastating impact on many of the young people that we serve. And often, clubs are the only place in many communities where our young people have a meal or a snack after school, or just simply a caring mentor to talk to. And while many of our operations are returning to what I would call the new normal today, we also know that we don't want to go back to our pre-pandemic operations fully. We want to embrace the strengths that we gained, whether it's more deeply connecting with families, our families with food services and resources, or continuing to serve as virtual learning centers during these very, very difficult times. So we are embracing the role technology plays in relationships with both in our communities and with the young people who participate in Boys and Girls Clubs every day. And we believe at Boys and Girls Clubs of America that is our role as a national organization to support those needs of our local clubs. And a part of that responsibility includes finding new ways for technology to help local clubs build the data and the resources they need to support their day-to-day operations. That includes fundraising and just so much more. But we have to do that in a way that streamlines their day-to-day work so that it doesn't create an additional burden for our staff. That's why in 2021, we turned to Salesforce's nonprofit cloud to help us create a network of technology across our 4,900 locations across this country. And that's something that we call today My Club Hub. And this is an exciting new platform with Salesforce that will not only help local clubs deliver on data that will help them better assess the needs of young people in their communities, but it will streamline their efforts to ensure that club staff and mentors can channel and focus their time on driving real impact and engagement with the young people that need them the most.
That's remarkable that you're able to use that data in real time to meet the needs of those young people and their families and communities at scale. So when you think about driving impact and we know that doing the work is really only half the battle. Right. Tracking, measuring, and understanding your work is critical to have actionable insights and to really make data-driven decisions around running the clubs, both at the national and of course at the local level. Boys and Girls Club of America has a solid track record of using technology to measure results and understand your impact to inform the work that you're doing in communities everywhere. Can you tell me just a little bit more about how you're using that technology to more strategically drive that impact and understand what's happening locally?
Absolutely. So with My Club Hub, our clubs will have access to real-time data at their fingertips to show how their club members are participating. And with a quick glance at a dashboard, they'll know how many kids are in their club at any given time, what programs these young people are participating in, and the achievement in those programs. And that achievement really speaks to outcomes, right? And on a national level, it allows Boys and Girls Clubs of America to compare data with our annual youth outcomes data to identify gaps and determine which programs are leading to the greatest success for our members. That allows us to determine what we can replicate and what activities we need to enhance to reach scale. And if you think about it from a donor's perspective, My Club Hub with Salesforce will enable clubs to not only just track gifts, but to steward and cultivate investors like never before. And organizations will be able to track restricted gifts to the programs they support and provide donors with key outcome data demonstrating the impact of their investments. And as you know, that's something that's been missing in the nonprofit sector for some time.
Certainly.
And this platform will also provide clubs with a 360-degree view of all of their stakeholders, helping us to better understand the ways that they participate in our organizations and ensure that our services are providing the foundation for continued engagement.
Well, it's fascinating because the idea that My Club Hub is empowering the children, the staff and volunteers, as well as the donors in the community that support you is really remarkable.
Absolutely.
You know, when I think about many of the changes that we have experienced from the last 2 years are here to stay.
Yes.
How do you expect these changes and these learnings that we've had impact the future of the Boys and Girls Club of America?
That's a really good question. As I think about Boys and Girls Clubs of America, we have always operated in a federated model with more than 1,000 organizations representing 4,900 clubs. This model has worked extremely well for us for more than a century and a half, allowing local organizations to focus on the needs of their communities and their children, while the national organization focused on the needs of those clubs. However, when it comes to operations and technology, not all clubs had the tools and resources to most efficiently support their operations. So for example, many clubs managed attendance, parent communication, staff management, and so much more on manual systems, and that took away precious time for them focusing on how they drive deeper impact that results into positive outcomes for young people. And we've known for a while that our digital infrastructure as an organization had to grow. And the last 2 years afforded us the time to fast forward that. And with Salesforce, My Club Hub, we will now be able to have one digital platform that supports every club in the nation, allowing them to track key metrics and automate systems that once took hours to manage. And this system will also help us in the future to better understand the impacts of the unpredictable, right? That's school system closures, natural disasters, global conflicts, and the ongoing fluctuations that we are seeing even today with this pandemic. And all of those have impacts on our young people and in our communities in real time. So this will enable our teams to pivot to meet those needs faster and more efficiently.
I'm so struck by what you say in terms of the technology that you're deploying across the organization is really the underpinning to really bolster and improve the human experience of supporting these kids
Well said.
Around the country. And so thank you again for the work that you're doing. I could talk to you about this for hours, but thank you for sharing this story and for your story about the Boys and Girls Club of America today, and for joining us and for inviting me to join you. The work you're doing and the work that's happening around the country is an inspiration to all of us, and we are deeply grateful. So thank you so much.
Thank you.